Howdy. So, I heard you want to know about 144 hertz. So, I'll tell you about it. Just a disclaimer though, I can't record 144 hertz, and you cannot see what I'm talking about without a 144 hertz monitor yourself. The best I can show you is this clip here that kind of shows you the differences between the frame rates. Also, if you have any questions about 144 hertz, ask me in the comments below. So I'm going to go through each mode category, starting with standard, then going to mania, then going to Takio, then going to catch the beat. And pretty much I'm going to answer probably a question and give kind of a description on how 144 hertz changed each mode. Alright, let's start with standard. So the big question I get, and probably everyone has wondered, does it make AR-10 slower? No, not at all. There's no difference in how the approach rate is read or seen. It's a lot smoother when the approach circle is coming into the hit circle, but other than that, the approach rate is unaffected. However, there is a major difference in some minor things, such as high velocity sliders are more smooth, and before you could just see a slider zoom by, and then like after with 144 hertz you can see the slider the whole time. It's a really weird experience, especially like with curses that don't have a trail. Curses are really silky smooth too, by the way. When you're on a spinner, like with Yugen, when you're on a spinner, before it just looked like the cursor was teleporting around the circle. After, you could see it the entire way through the spinner, and it's just really just a weird experience. It felt like you were playing on a potato PC beforehand, and then you just moved to a god PC afterhand. So, does it make Osu super easy? Not really, but it's kind of complicating because overall it's probably going to make you better. You will notice a difference in the overall smoothness of the way the game plays. Higher velocity sliders and slider spam maps are a piece of cake. Cursors easier. Everything is overall just easier to read and silky smooth. Yeah. But I think over time you will really get better quicker because it will make you play a little bit better just because of how smooth it is. I don't know. I feel like I got a lot better just because of how smooth the game is. Alright, so let's get on to Mania. Alright, so just a disclaimer, I can't play Mania at all. I can play Step Mania, just in my opinion, Mania doesn't take skill because you can spam all the keys at once and there's no penalty. Anyway, so right off the bat you will notice a huge difference. The smoothness of the notes falling at higher scroll speeds is very, very noticeable. It's like going from lower frame rates to higher frame rates because it's basically what it is. Anyway, it feels like cheating. Though how smooth the notes fall, it's just not fair to someone playing on 60 hertz. It makes the game feel like it was played on a potato PC at 60 hertz. That's pretty much it for Mania. I mean, everything is more smoothing, pleasing to the eye, and quite frankly, I won't play Mania without 144 hertz anymore. Now for Takio, the same can be said. The scroll speeds at higher speeds are a lot easier to read. There's no tearing like you would see at 60 hertz, like the circles would tear and it looked like you weren't playing without anti-aliasing. And with 144 hertz it looks like anti-aliasing and you can see the circle the whole time. It's really nice experience and I highly recommend 144 hertz, especially for Takio and Mania. But yeah, let's get on to Catch the Beat, which is kind of a different story. So, in the technical aspects of 144 hertz versus 60 hertz, there's an entire 7 millisecond frame where a frame is in 144 hertz and it isn't in 60 hertz. Now you might think, oh, it's 7 milliseconds. Well, over time, it adds up big time. In fact, that's actually how everything you see is so much smoother, is because all those small frames add up. Anyway, so basically, what this means is, in Catch the Beat, you get an entire frame where the fruit is entering the screen, and you can see the fruit faster than you can with 60 hertz, meaning that the whole game with a 144 hertz monitor can kind of be considered cheating because you can see the fruit quicker. Anyway, just like with before, the game is way smoother. The way the fruits fall is just pleasing to the eye. Quite frankly, before I thought it was really chaotic and hard to follow, but after I can really kind of play it and enjoy it because of the 144 hertz. Now the speed dash also was kind of an odd thing because you couldn't really see half the time on 60 hertz. Like, it was weird. I don't know, it just wasn't very smooth. After, it's super smooth. And honestly, as I said before, I don't see how you can be a catch the beat player and not have a 144 hertz monitor if you could. Alright, so the verdict. So I'm just going to kind of recommend it depending on the modes. I recommend a 144 hertz monitor, period. If you have the money, you should get one. Just not for Osu. I mean, it's good for Osu, but it's much better benefited in a game like Counter-Strike. Anyway, so if you're a standard player, well, there's basically no use. I mean, sure, it makes everything smoother. It makes sliders more smooth. There's less screen tearing. The cursor's smoother. But those are kind of like benefits that are debatable if they will make you better or make your experience better. Actually, there's no debatable. It does make the experience better. I love it as smooth as it is. So for Mania and Tokyo, it's a yeah. You're definitely going to see a difference, and you're going to wonder how you played without 144 hertz when you switch it. As for Catch the Beat, as I said earlier, it makes a bigger difference playing on 144 hertz than the previous two, and everything's smoother, which is great on top of it. So, basically, the TLDR, if you are thinking about getting a 144 hertz monitor and you have the money, do it. They're kind of expensive. They start at like $190 on Amazon. There is an Acer monitor, I believe, that is around $190 that is 144 hertz. So yeah, it's kind of affordable now compared to a few years ago when it was about like $300 as an entry price. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions about 144 hertz, let me know in the comments below. You don't have to leave a like. That's up to you. Whatever, do it. You know that outro. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.